Okay, what I got here is about 5 pounds of bread flour. Make sure it's bread flour. Alright, I'm adding 2¼ teaspoons of yeast to about 2 cups of warm water between 105 degrees, 110 degrees. You don't want to go over that. The reason why this is to make sure your yeast is activated. Let it sit for about 10 minutes till it foams up. So we're going to add this in and knead it. Okay, we got about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're going to add this to the mixture. It'll give it some flavor. Make sure we get all that flour incorporated. So what we're going to do is knead this for anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, a little bit, just by having a little fun. Punching, getting some exercise, some aerobics. It's good cardio. And just keep going. And just keep doing this. Do little stretches and punches. What we're going to do is form some gluten. Then it'll start to get a little harder and it'll be a little more easier. The dough will start to form, so don't get discouraged. It's a process. So I've been kneading this for about 10 minutes. I'm going to get a couple little stretches out of it and keep kneading so the gluten develops a little more, which will give you a better rise in your bread and better texture. A lot of people do is get a small portion of the dough and try to spread it out a little bit where you could almost see through it. And we're like almost there. So I'd give it like another couple minutes. But as you can see here, we're starting to get what we're looking for. It's kind of a messy process, but it's a fun process. And the results are like 10 times better than store-bought bread. So we're just about there. We're getting that almost that see-through effect where you can almost see right through the dough. And then start to pick up the rest from the bowl. That's always a good sign too, as you can see. It's starting to really come together. Let's see a little bit. Yeah, that's about ready. It just tears a little bit, but that's good. So what we're going to do is cover that up. I like to use a little cooking spray on the plastic. I'm going to spray this and turn it around on top of it. Keep it from sticking to the top. And what we're going to do is just put it down a little bit, because we don't want our mixture to dry out. I'm going to just put a little towel over it too to get that moisture in there too. What I'm going to do is either keep it in a warm place or you can put it in your oven, an off oven with the light on. Then we'll check on that in about 1 hour. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. This is the biggest bowl I have. If you have a big one, I recommend you use it. Got a little stickiness there on some of the paper. I might have put the wrap a little, but that's fine and dandy. Okay, I like to preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Let that preheat for half an hour to an hour. You want that heat to really get in there and radiate. Also using scissors that are washed and clean. So what we're going to do is sprinkle a little flour on. Not too much, but enough. And I think we're gonna start with the rolls. So a little flour in our hands. See what we got here. Turn a little bit, see what we're dealing with. This nice dough, look at that. That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough. So let's take some out, we'll just cut it. It's much easier that way. A little more. Like that. A little flour on my hands. And we'll just stretch her out a little bit. We'll fold her inside of herself a little. This also helps fluff up the dough a lot. Stretching itself and folding it out on itself. You could weigh it to get all the buns a nice size. But we don't want all the same size. Some like a little more bread, some like a little less bread. And what we're gonna do is roll it up like in a little ball. You can tuck it in on itself. I just keep tucking it in. Mine's a little more water on it, so we're gonna turn the bread as best we can to try to make a uniform shape, like a ball. And what I'm doing is using my pinkies. It is sticky, but the more you do it, it'll start to form into a nice ball. If you got a bread scraper, that's always handy. And I'll just let that sit there. And we'll repeat the process for the other ones. It's a little misshaping, but we're going to cover this up and let that sit for like 20 minutes to half an hour. All right, when you're doing the buns with the sesame seed and the cornmeal, don't use the olive oil then. Use an egg wash. You could use the whole egg whipped with like a tablespoon of water, or just egg whites with a tablespoon of water. Coat your bread, then use the sesame seed or the cornmeal and it'll stick better. Just using olive oil, when they come out of the oven, they're just going to fall right off the sesame seeds and stuff. But the olive oil itself leaves a nice brown cover to the bread if you don't want anything on it. All right, keep it moving, keep it flowing, keep it moving, keep it flowing. I'm going to see how this comes out. I like them a little tall and fluffy, so I'm just going to form them a little bit better. Keep it moving, keep it flowing. There's going to be some big bun here, so. Like I said, they're great for sandwiches. It's in the oven. What I like to do is add some hot water in here too. This is hot water. It was just boiling. And we'll just leave it in there for some extra moisture. And what you can do is also spray around, get that steam going. Try not to get the glass of your oven, you'll crack it. And we'll tie that for about 45 minutes. Okay, it's been 45 minutes. And look at the bread. I turned it around, the tray around like 20 minutes before it was done. Let's take a look at it. Oh, sounds beautiful. Oh, this is done. I'm gonna put this on a cooling rack. We got some humongous buns, we got some small buns. And we're gonna let these cool for at least an hour before you cut into them. Very hot, so I would just let them sit there for a while before you even move them out of the tray. And meantime, we'll put the next one in. And we'll do the same thing. Let that go for about 45 minutes. Check out about a half an hour, check on them. Water in the pan looks all right still. We're gonna leave that go. We'll add some more to the next batch. So, 45 minutes, and then we'll be back. Okay, right here we have the bread. I wanna score the bread. This way we have no blowouts on the side or anything. A lot of people use like a real sharp knife sometimes, or razor blades. I just like to use some scissors. I find it more easy for me if I just cut it a little bit like that. Makes a nice design. And I got a egg wash here. I'm just using the white part of the egg. I'm not using the yolk. You can for a darker color, but I'm just gonna use a light color. So I got like 2 tablespoons of water with a beaten egg white, and I'm gonna coat this softly. I'm doing this for the nice color. Like I said, you could just use olive oil and just have a nice light brown, but I'm gonna put some seeds on this one. I'm gonna use some sesame seeds in order to make it stick a lot better. I'm gonna use some egg wash. So that looks pretty good. Make sure you're getting those cracks too. Let's put that aside, and we're gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds on it. I love toasted sesame seeds. Gives a little more flavor to the bread. If it's starting a little limp, you could always prop it up and put like a little towel on it for a minute or two on the side. All right. Let that sit and we'll do that. All right, the bread is not yet 45 minutes, but I'm going to quickly open this up with 20 minutes left to go to flip the tray around before we get equal browning. It smells wonderful in here. So we'll flip this around and let that go for another 20 minutes. Try to do it quickly. You don't want to lose all that oven heat. All right, as we're putting this in the oven, I like to preheat the oven for 400 degrees for at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour before you put in. You want that heat to really get in the oven. I'll let that go for 45 minutes. We'll turn it around after 20 minutes. We're gonna take this out and we're gonna put it back in, believe it or not. It's very hot, so we wanna get that little crust on the bottom. So we're gonna put this in for 10 minutes in the oven, another 10 minutes, and we'll check on it then. Oh. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. We're gonna take the bread out. Good way to check it is to tap the bottom. Oh, listen to that, beautiful. We'll let that cool in a cool rack. Voila, I'll show you the end. We got some homemade bread here, and it's nice, it's beautiful. As you can hear, you can even hear this crust as you cut it. Ah, beautiful. Great for sandwiches, pulled pork, pulled chicken, barbecue, whatever. Tasty bread, beautiful. keep it moving, keep it flowing.